class of 2017, welcome to your graduation. Let's hear it. To everyone gathered here today, and to those who are joining us via live stream, thank you for taking part in this special day. We've already seen some wonderful expressions of congratulations and excitement on social media with the hashtag #NewSchoolGrad, so keep them coming. I want to take a moment to send our congratulations to the students and faculty at our Parsons Paris campus, who are also graduating today. Well, in reality, yes. They graduated about 4 a.m. New York time, so let's give them some applause. Joining me on stage today are members of our Board of Trustees and our Board Chair, Joseph Gromick, our university leadership, the graduating co-chair of the University Student Senate, our honorees and presenters, and the remarkable New School faculty. And today we are all led in by Marshal Peter Wheelwright, who is retiring this year from 33 years at Parsons. Thank you very much, Peter. I want to extend a special welcome to our honorary degree recipients, Barbara Hillary, Ai-jen Poo, and Anna Sui. We will say more about them in just a few minutes when we present them their honorary degrees. But they are extraordinary individuals who reflect in different ways the boldness, commitment, and passion to which we all aspire at the New School. Now today, among our graduates, you will see some students wearing red and black cords with their academic regalia. These cords symbolize their dedication as student leaders during their time at the New School. There are other students wearing red, white, and blue cords. These signify that either they or their parents have served in the United States Armed Forces. We want to thank them. We are here today in the iconic Arthur Ashe Stadium in Flushing Meadows Park, historic site of the 1964 World's Fair. Now, I actually attended that World's Fair. I know you don't think I look that old. But at the time, its theme was peace through understanding. And the World's Fair celebrated diverse populations coming together to collaborate for the greater good. And that is what we're all about at the New School. We are especially proud to have the most international student body of any major university. And let me take this opportunity to underscore that now, more than ever, the New School is dedicated to keeping our doors open to students from around the world, regardless of their citizenship status. And now to all of our graduates, let me say, we are proud of you, excited for you, and here to celebrate you. Now, there's going to be plenty of clapping today, but this next round of applause may be the most important one. I ask now that the class of 2017 please stand, turn around, and applaud your family and friends who have been here and supported you through your studies and are here for you today. Now, class of 2017, when we admitted you, we knew that you were creative, held high standards for rigor, and wanted to make a difference. And you've proven us right time and time again. You've had a learning experience full of intellectual and creative energy. You have been engaged with the world around you, immersed in New York City, and connected to cities around the globe. You've also been touched by a university where academic freedom and tolerance have always prevailed. Please take that spirit with you wherever you go. The New School is your university and always will be. You are not only part of the New School's past, but you're also its future. I urge you to stay connected to this community that has been such an important part of your lives as proud members of our growing alumni network. I know I will hear great things from the class of 2017 because I know that each and every one of you has the capacity to make a difference in the world. To borrow a quote from this stadium's namesake, Arthur Ashe, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. We begin our ceremony by honoring faculty with a presentation of the University Teaching Awards. We honor our faculty at commencement because we know what a critical part they play in our students' success. Students, as you can attest, the faculty at the New School are wonderful teachers, brilliant researchers, and creative visionaries. They have been dedicated to helping you unlock your creativity, focus your thinking, and activate your ideas. I now invite Provost Marshall to lead the presentation of the Teaching Awards.
The success of our graduating students is a reflection on their teachers, the knowledge and skills they bring to the classroom, the tone they set for rigor and high standards, the care and values they model. I'm pleased to present this year's Distinguished Teaching Awards and the awards for outstanding achievements in diversity and social justice teaching. All awardees were nominated by their students and their peers. It is exceedingly meaningful for faculty to receive the recognition of their colleagues and especially from their students. Fittingly, we have invited students to present the awards along with their respective deans. Beginning with Jordan Boosfield, I'll ask each student to come up in turn. Jordan?
Hello, my name is Jordan Bousfield, and today I'm graduating with a Master's in Fine Arts in Design and Technology. I'm honored to present this award, this Distinguished Teaching Award, to Professor Noel Honig. I first met Professor Honig in my motions graphics class this spring. His passion for design and animation were apparent from the very beginning as he carefully assessed the skills and needs of each student in the room. Like all of Noel's students, I was immediately impressed by the depth of his knowledge, his passionate and animated teaching style, and his helpful feedback. He clearly loves his work and loves teaching, wrote one student. Another added, he put a lot into the class, and this motivated us to do our best. I can certainly attest to this. In nominating him for this award, a student applauded Noel's unique ability to communicate technically challenging subject through a well-paced and self-supporting learning process, and his innovative teaching style and extensive supplementary support of our learning experience. So thank you, Noel, and congratulations.
Sally Yang, please come forward.
Hello, my name is Sally Yang, and I am graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies. I first met Ai-jen in my sophomore year, and I nominated him for this award because he is an extraordinary educator. Students have said that he is not just a teacher, but a mentor and a role model, whose passion for the environment is contagious. His extensive knowledge in communicating critical climate, equity, and sustainability issues motivates his students to get both involved in and out of the classroom. Ai-jen's style of teaching combines theory with practice and has helped me to think more deeply about current social and environmental challenges and how to design solutions to them. He strongly believes in us students and has always had our best interests at heart. I truly think he's an all-around great professor. I am pleased to present this Distinguished Teaching Award to Professor Ai-jen McPherson.
Meadows, please come forward.
Greetings. Greetings, graduates. Greetings, honored guests. Greetings, distinguished faculty and administrators. Greetings, workers all. My name is Eli Nadeau, and I'm graduating with a Master of Arts degree in politics from the New School for Social Research. It is an honor and a pleasure to present this Distinguished Teaching Award to Professor Jessica Pisano. I took the field seminar in comparative politics my first semester at NSSR. Comparative is not my subfield, but I was inspired by the post-Soviet Potemkin village, Professor Pisano's political ethnography of Black Earth in Ukraine and Russia, and thought I'd give the class a try. It was transformative. Professor Pisano brings scholarship to life. Manifest as rigorous fieldwork, nuanced argument, and thorough attention and respect to the social and political realities of her subjects, in the classroom, she models integrity, courage, discipline, and passion. Her standards are high and her empathy deep. When I found myself in personal crisis, Professor Pisano offered wisdom, patience, and perspective. In a time of global crisis, with democracy disrespected near and far, her pedagogy can guide our scholarship and galvanize our lives. Thank you, Professor Pisano, and congratulations.
Salma Shamel Bakar, please come forward.
Hello, everyone. My name is Salma Shamel Bakr, and I'm graduating today with a Master of Arts in Design Studies from Parsons. I'm honored to present the award for Outstanding Achievements in Diversity and Social Justice Teaching to Professor Shayna Agud. I first met Professor Shayna in the World Making, Design and Designing in a Social and Political Context class, where I was their teaching assistant. Adjectives repeatedly used to describe them in evaluations include charismatic, compassionate, compelling, and constructive. Shayna is praised for facilitating meaningful dialogues that are thoughtful and respectful, for offering positive, insightful, and encouraging feedback, and for being exceptionally generous with their time and energy. In nominating them for this award, a former teaching assistant wrote about how they take the time to engage TAs, students, and the new school community in ways that attend to important differences in learning, background, and intellectual interests. Another admired their, quote, commitment not to just quality teaching, but teaching that is caring and challenging, as it addresses even the most difficult topics, unquote. Shayna's patience, kindness, and genuine acceptance of everyone and their work are all the reasons they're receiving this award today. Congratulations, Shayna.
Jamie Jesperson, please come forward.
Y'all, it's really hot in here, jeez. My name is Jamie Jesperson, and I'm graduating with my Bachelor of Arts in Global Studies from Eugene Lane College. Woo! And before I present this award, I want to acknowledge that we're standing on the sacred ancestral territory of the Lenni Lenape, translated to the real people. For millennia, this region was, and still is, considered Lenape-Hoking, a reality each of us who have come here today, whether as visitors or permanent residents, must accountably remember and continually acknowledge. Now, it's my incredible honor to present the award for outstanding achievements in diversity and social justice teaching to Professor Jazz Kiran Dillon. Jazz is known and venerated by her students for her passion, intensity, and unequivocal brilliance, not just as a teacher in the classroom, but as a dedicated organizer and accomplice on the ground. She offers courses such as Settler Colonialism, Indigenous Resurgence, and the Politics of Climate Justice. That's one title for one class. The Politics of Violence, and Political Organizing for Social Justice. In December, she organized and moderated a teach-in at the New School on Standing Rock, followed by a benefit concert featuring several Indigenous artists that raised over $1,600 for the Respect Our Water campaign, a youth-led project to resist the installment of destructive pipelines ripping through Turtle Island or North America. Jazz not only educates and inspires us, but she checks us. She calls us out, and she reminds us that the intellectual conversations we hold in this very privileged, very, very expensive institution are for nothing if we do not harness that consciousness. Y'all, I got so many student loans from this institution. If we do not harness that acquired education and consciousness to catalyze social change on the outside. Professor Dillon has helped light and sustain a fire of passion for social justice on this campus, and I know that fire will keep burning in many of us for as long as we live. I'm pleased to present Professor Jazz Kiran Dillon.
We will now present the honorary degrees. Universities confer honorary degrees to recognize individuals for sustained and extraordinary achievements in academic, artistic, and civic realms. They reflect the standards we hold high. We are especially proud this year to be honoring 3 women. All 3 are women of color. And 2 of them are New School alumni. I now ask our trustee, Timothy Porter, and Provost Marshall to join me to present the honorary degrees. Following the presentation of the degrees, each candidate will address the students.
Barbara Hillary, please come forward. Your courage and curiosity have taken you to the ends of the earth and back, and throughout the journey, you have never forgotten the power of advocacy. You have also proven that you were never too old to learn something new. After receiving your bachelor's and master's degrees from the New School, you became a nurse and focused on gerontology. You had a proud career compassionately serving others. Now, while some go quietly into their retirement, it was around then that your life took a dramatic turn. As someone who questions accepted histories and seeks out challenges, when you learned that no African-American woman had ever been to the North Pole, you set your sights on doing just that. It's only just started. With no precedent, no funding, and plenty of naysayers, you pushed forward. Not even breast and lung cancer could have deterred you. You raised your own funds, undertook rigorous training, and at the age of 75, you became the first African-American woman to reach the North Pole. Then, in true explorer fashion, you decided one trip was not enough, and at the age of 79, you made it to the South Pole. Though you have been to some incredible places, you have never forgotten your New York City roots. You have been an advocate for community improvement in the Rockaway Peninsula you call home. You have used your experience to speak out on behalf of women's rights, racial equality, and the environment. You've been called the Arctic's Grand Dame by Women's Adventure magazine, and you received a special citation from the US House of Representatives. The National Organization of Women honored you with the Woman of Courage Award, and you have received special recognition from the Explorers Club. Your courage, determination, and optimism are exactly the kinds of attributes we at the New School believe make for extraordinary achievements and remarkable lives. For the example you have set through your deeply adventurous spirit, we are honored to bestow upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In 1931, I was born in the part of Manhattan known as San Juan Hill. 1931, let's make it easy. I'm 86. Now let's get back to San Juan Hill. San Juan Hill today is known as Lincoln Center. In 1931, Lincoln Center was primarily a black community. I was raised in Harlem and Spanish Harlem. My father died when I was about 2 years old, and we were poor. We were sub-depression poor, but there was no such thing as mental poverty in our home. There was also no such thing as I don't eat this and I don't eat that and 5 pots on the stove. You know what I'm talking about. Also, there was no such thing as woe is me. Woe is me. My mother said, if you want something in this world, get up off your ass and work for it. And she was right. I'm a great believer in bringing some water back to the well. When I became a student at the new school, I received a gift. And that gift was the intellectual excitement and the privilege of being able to study and interface with international students. I was enriched by a faculty who demanded academic excellence in a stimulating environment. Now, when I'm asked why I choose to go to the North Pole, I looked around at my options. Bad news, boring. Can you imagine being stuck someplace with people and they just whine and they're negative? So I decided I was going to photograph polar bears. I went on to learn snowmobiling and also dog sledding. The next time my stop was the North Pole. At every phase in your life, look at your options. Please do not select boring ones. May I give you a gift? You have formulated your goals. It's a wonderful audience. And this is how it all starts. How did I do it? Perseverance, determination, and respect for the way my mother raised me. To reach the geographic North Pole, I had to raise $25,000. It's more than that. And that's a lot of money for someone on a reduced income. $25,000. Add to that, transportation to Europe, specialized garments. Arctic boots can cost up to $10,000. Seems like a lot of money? It's more expensive to replace your feet. determination, perseverance. Now, to reach the geographic North Pole, be prepared for the unexpected. And when it happens, try to objectively rethink the situation. Don't have an immediate reaction based on emotion or anger, because it can come back to haunt you. The unexpected can often be wrapped in rejection. What is rejection? Trying to convince people that a 75-year-old woman plans to ski to the North Pole who happens to be black. You'll find out what rejection is. That's a good example of being prepared for the unexpected. Sorry, I have to go back. The polar bear?
We saw it.
Oh, you saw it? Okay, thank you. Okay. Another unexpected factor that happened with that polar bear, that he stared at me for a long time. And then he said, "Are you soul food? I heard so much about you." My Russian guide and I, Eugene, finally reached the North Pole. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that smile you see on my face, it was still there on the 4th of July, frozen. I'm talking about cold. Okay. My expedition to the geographic South Pole was unrelenting in terms of a challenge. It tested all of my resiliency. How cold is cold? The beauty of Antarctica, the beauty of the South Pole, it's not flat. It's mountainous and it's quiet, and the mountains are blue and gray. The next time you think it's cold, here we see the inside of my tent. Now, when you're at base camp at the South Pole or Antarctica, there's no heat in your tent. Hence, when I woke up the next morning, I found my washcloth as you see it. That is my tent. The temperature in Antarctica is usually 30, 40, 50, maybe 60 below. I slept in that unheated tent while I waited to go further south to the South Pole. Your academic expedition, in many ways, mirrors the dynamic challenges of the new school. The new school is my school. The new school is your school. As you accept these challenges, please remember the bridge that brought you across. Someone made it possible and helped you to make it possible. On the left, I am at the geographic North Pole. And on the right, I'm at the geographic South Pole. Perseverance, determination, you ladies and gentlemen have demonstrated it. Thank you so much.
Remarkable. Ai-jen Poo, please come forward. At a time when the US aging population is growing faster than ever, few have taken the time and effort to understand the needs of this generation and those caring for them as intensely as you have. As creator and co-director of Caring Across Generations, you campaign to ensure the elderly have access to affordable care and caregivers have access to quality jobs. In a similar vein, you've also spent the past 2 decades tirelessly working on behalf of domestic workers, a labor force that too often goes unnoticed. You have worked to bring dignity and respect to these employees, many of whom are immigrants, and to underscore the value of the work that they do. As a student at Columbia University, you began volunteering with the Committee Against Anti-Asian Violence, working on behalf of Asian immigrant women in low-wage service jobs. There, as you saw the potential in a group of workers who wanted to advocate for better living and working conditions. With your gift for organizing others, you went on to form Domestic Workers United, where you taught others to mobilize and created alliances between workers and their employers. In 2010, your efforts culminated in the successful passing of the Domestic Labor Bill of Rights in New York, the first of its kind in the country. Gloria Steinem has called you a gifted organizer, able to effect change and advocate for policies that are crucial to the lives of others. You earned a place on Newsweek's 150 Fearless Women list and Fortune's list of greatest world leaders, and in 2014, you received the prestigious MacArthur Genius Grant. For your unyielding commitment to human rights and the depth of your compassion, we are honored to bestow upon you this degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. Congratulations.
Hello. Congratulations. Thank you so much, President Van Zandt and the entire New School community for this incredible honor. I'm especially honored to share this stage with 2 phenomenal women, Barbara Hillary and Anna Sui, whose designs I've coveted for years. Really powerful that the New School chose 3 women of color to honor this year. Thank you so much. So if this moment feels important to you, it's because it really is, especially now. As someone who has spent the last 21 years since I graduated trying to make the world better for women, for immigrants, and for low-wage workers, I want you to know that not only have you hit a critical benchmark in your own lives, you are stepping out into the world at a very important benchmark moment in our nation's history. There are times in the story of a nation when history is written faster. These are moments of enormous transition and transformation. They have an outsized role in defining us, defining who we are and who we're becoming as a nation. The 1930s were like this, with the Industrial Revolution changing culture and work, creating an upheaval in urban and rural ways of life, and a social movement that helped bring in massive reforms and some of the most important policies and pillars of our democracy today. Moments like that, like the 1930s, fundamentally reshaped our democracy. This is one of those times. Change is happening on every single front: technology, work, family, demographics, politics. We live in an era of Black Lives Matter, of Standing Rock, of the Women's March and the Fight for 15. Of Barack Obama and Donald Trump, of Airbnb and artificial intelligence, of the Affordable Care Act and mass deportations, and now a Muslim ban. Old institutions are falling apart and new ones are emerging. In each and every arena of change, it could go either way, toward making life in America better, more promising, more inclusive, more generative for all of us, or it could go wrong. It could end up only enriching a few people at the top at the expense of the vast majority of us who are already struggling. The outcome on the other side of all of this change could be very good for our country and for humanity, or it could be very bad. And the difference will be up to you. You are part of the largest, most diverse generation in history. You, like the baby boomers before you, are a culture-driving generation. Not only will this moment have an outsized role in defining us as a country, you will have an outsized role in shaping our politics, our culture, and our economy going forward. You will be in charge of companies, of government, of organizations, and universities when we become a majority people of color nation in the United States. It is an incredible opportunity and responsibility. The good news is you have the benefit of having been educated in New York City, one of the most diverse, dynamic cities in the world. And I know many of you are already organizing for immigrant and for worker rights. Here, I'd like to quote the great philosopher Yoda from the American classic, Star Wars, who said, "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to suffering. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering." We will need you to continue stepping fearlessly into the future with your strongest moral compass. You can be sure that your children and your grandchildren will ask, "Where were you? What were you doing during this moment in history?" I want you to have a good answer. Just like your families are so proud of you today, I want us all to have an answer we can feel proud of, and I believe we will. In the meantime, please celebrate and feel proud of all that you have accomplished to get to this moment today. Thank you for the incredible honor of joining you today to accept this degree. Congratulations.
Anna Sui, please come forward. Bold, romantic, rebellious, unique, rock and roll, worldly. These are just some of the words that have been used to describe your work as a designer. You have always had the courage to create exuberantly and dream big. In short, you have broken all the rules. As a result, you have created an iconic fashion brand that is known around the world. A native of Detroit and the daughter of Chinese immigrants who met in Paris at the Sorbonne, you had unique global influences inspiring you from a young age. You always knew you wanted to be a fashion designer, and your ambitions brought you here to Parsons. Eager to learn the industry firsthand, you started designing for several sportswear companies while also working on your own collection, which you launched in 1981. By 1991, you held your first fashion show, and the runway has never looked the same since. Your shows have the ability to transport viewers and have become synonymous with fantasy and adventure. From your first boutique in Soho in 1992, your design business has grown to 50 boutiques and a product line that includes shoes, fragrances, cosmetics, and accessories. Yet although you have a strong global presence, you have continued to design from your studio here in New York City. Among your honors, you have been recognized with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Council of Fashion Designers of America, and you've been named one of the top 5 fashion icons of the decade by Time magazine. And next week, you'll become the first American to receive a solo exhibition at London's Textile and Fashion Museum. You have generously used your success to inspire and elevate others, from working with Habitat for Humanity and the World Wildlife Foundation to lecturing high school students on pursuing their own dreams. Believing strongly in supporting young designers, you have also been a mentor to Parsons students. We admire your global perspective as a designer and that you have continually evolved while always remaining true to yourself as an artist. Your career is a shining example for future designers, and we are proud to bestow upon you this degree of Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Provost Marshall, President Van Zandt, and the New School Board of Trustees. Thank you, students and faculty. You are the heart of this university. You make me so proud to be part of this community. A few years ago, I was with my family at my nephew Jackson's graduation at Johns Hopkins. My mother suddenly turned to me and said, "When are you going to get your degree?" Receiving the honorary degree completes a journey of achievement that began at Parsons years ago. Mom, here I am, Dr. Anna Sui, PhD. Thank you all for making my mom, Grace Sui, so happy. I share President Van Zandt's sentiments he expressed earlier about the loudest applause belonging to the families. Students, whatever you accomplish after graduation, wherever you go, and whatever you achieve, that never changes. Love and thanks to my family, my mom and dad, my brothers Bobby and Eddie, and their families. I always wanted to be a fashion designer. My best friend from childhood remembers me talking about it at age 4 when I came back from New York from my aunt and uncle's wedding. I got back to Michigan and I said, when I grow up, I'm going to move to New York and be a fashion designer. I remember reading an article in Life magazine about 2 girls who graduated from Parsons School of Design, moved to Paris, where Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton opened a boutique for them. So as a kid living in the suburbs of Detroit, I thought, wow, I found the magic key. All I need to do is move to New York and go to Parsons. I saw an ad in the back of my babysitter's 17 magazine for Parsons School of Design. I immediately wrote for the registration catalog and studied the guidelines and geared my junior high and high school curriculums to match their requirements. In my senior year, I was accepted at Parsons. Well, years later, I went back and I reread the article. I realized that one of the girls' fathers was the legendary photographer Irving Penn, which might have given them certain advantages. But as a child, you don't understand those kind of connections. My point is, dreams and determination can carry a person farther than anything else. Pursue your goals with a passion. I realized that my own singular focus on being a fashion designer from such a small age is pretty unusual. This is especially true for students graduating today. You are likely to have multiple jobs, and you may even have multiple careers. There is tremendous opportunity and openness in that. But you have to find your own niche. One thing that is true of a new school education is that it's not about walking on well-worn paths, because those paths don't exist anymore. It's not a place that promotes replication, because we don't need more of the same. We need better ideas. It's not a place about taking the path of least resistance, because facing challenges is ultimately more rewarding and more interesting than avoiding them. Don't be afraid of the status quo, of challenging the status quo and making your own path. In fact, actively seek ways to be unique and unconventional. I always have. I believe my best work has been born from moments that I have pushed boundaries. Critics have said of my work, difficult to define. I say, great. One constant is always true. Everything changes, and so should each of you. Technology and social media only accelerate, giving you more opportunities to develop and create. Your education at the new school gives you a foundation to build a career, a life, and your future is truly unlimited. I wish you all the best going forward, and may you all reach your greatest potential. Take what you have learned, seek your inspiration. The best ideas are yet to come. And live your dream.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you all of our honorary degree recipients. Let's give them one more round of applause. Well, creativity reveals itself in so many forms at the new school. Now, to give you just a taste from our College of Performing Arts, I now welcome a special musical performance by students and alumni from Madison Jazz. That was great. Thank you very much. I now introduce our commencement speaker. First, I want to acknowledge each of the two finalists. Please join me in recognizing Margaret Cavalier and Yahui Mika Chang. The class of 2017's commencement speaker is Maurice Dussault. Maurice is graduating today with a Bachelor of Business Administration degree in Strategic Design and Management from Parsons. Among the things that is especially remarkable about Maurice, in so very new school, is that he is truly a global citizen. I think he's going to tell us more about that and how it has influenced his perspective as a student and a design strategist in his remarks. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Maurice Dussault.
Wow, well, here we are, Arthur Ashe Stadium. Who knew that this would be the place where we would have our final step of our new school journey? Now, I was given a gadget not too long ago, so this is all very improvised, but this is a 360-degree camera, and we're gonna take a 360-degree selfie, I suppose. So let me see how this works. I need to turn it on. And now it should be on. All right, should we all stand? Three, yeah, everyone stand. Let's do this. All right, and I was told to hold it like up, like this. All right, ready? 1, 2. I think I was like 10 or something. All right, let's see how those turned out. We have no idea of knowing if it worked. So we've worked incredibly hard over the past few years, so let's give it up one more time for the graduating class of 2017. And on behalf of all of those graduating students here today, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all the faculty and staff at the New School for guiding us and for inspiring us through our journey. And of course, I want to thank our friends and our families who have supported us unconditionally over the past few years. We really wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you. So, if my unidentifiable yet subtle accent hasn't given it away already, I'm not from around here. I was born in the small, cold, which doesn't sound so bad now, and rainy country of the Netherlands, but spent my entire life living abroad. Woo! Dutch people in the audience. I've never met you yet. But I've spent my entire life living abroad since the age of 8 months old. Before moving to the US, I had the pleasure of living in South Korea, Italy, Switzerland, and China. I grew up around the world and was constantly exposed to different cultures, different perspectives, different ways of life. And as a child, I adapted quickly. If you asked me where home was or where I was from, I would have given you a different answer depending on when you asked me. Once, I even managed to convince my elementary school in the Netherlands into thinking I was Italian for 3 whole years. I always knew I wanted to pursue something creative, but that didn't always work out. In my last 2 years of high school in China, I really wanted to take this theater class. But it turned out that out of 50 or so kids, only one, me, applied, and of course the class was dropped. So I ended up settling for the next best thing, economics, which actually I ended up liking a lot and probably explains why I chose to pursue a business degree at a design school. As I wrapped up high school, I quickly realized that after all of this traveling, I couldn't return to the Netherlands. Despite my passport saying that the Netherlands was my home, I didn't feel at home. After all, I'd only lived there for 4 years, and as my mom keeps reminding me, my Dutch apparently isn't so great either. I needed to find a place where I would continue to stay exposed to these different cultures and perspectives. A place where others and I could finally express ourselves and our creativity freely. And I found that place here at the new school. We have always been and will always be a sanctuary for the free and creative spirit, a safe haven for individuals who not only dare to think different, but be different. Just like the city that houses it, the new school truly is a melting pot of cultures. Individuals from all over the country and all over the world come here to express themselves and their creativity. And it is exactly this coming together of the different minds with the mutual understanding of respect that creates a discourse which makes this place so special. But let's be brutally honest. A lot has changed in the global community over the past few years. We had no idea that we would be graduating in a moment of tremendous political, social, and environmental instability. National and international politics have shifted. Whilst for centuries it feels like we've been building bridges, now we're opting for walls instead. Walls not just around nations, but around people in our community. And on top of that, we have an Earth in crisis, an Earth that is sending us warning after warning that we need to change our ways. And yet, it seems like no one is listening. But you know what? I'm confident and optimistic because new school students don't just watch events unfold and accept things as they are. We do something about it. Where others see crises, we see opportunities for meaningful change. Now, this spirit is deeply rooted in our DNA. When you read our founding principles written nearly 100 years ago, you realize that our school was founded around the idea of examining the existing world and imagining a desired world. Here, we've learned how the world works. We see these systems, these gears that make the world turn. And the school didn't just make these inner workings visible to us, they gave us a platform to respond to these and be critical. And the moment you have that freedom to be critical about the inner workings of the world is the moment you truly become a participant in shaping the world. After growing up in environments where one couldn't always say what they were thinking, where even Facebook and the New York Times were blocked, coming to the new school with all of you was electrifying and empowering. Seeing the passionate rallies at our schools, the signs proudly hanging out our windows as protests streamed up Fifth Avenue, seeing you stand up for what you believe in, and not just expressing your opinions, but acting upon them, has been awe-inspiring. Now, no matter if you study to be a musician, a performer, a journalist, designer, artist, researcher, thinker, economist, politician, or an advocate, this principle of examining the existing and imagining the desired bind us together as a community. On top of that, we've been encouraged not to hide away in our own departments and schools, but instead, we've been encouraged to work across disciplines and work with people who see the world differently in order to experiment and take risks. I've seen my peers reimagine sustainable fashion by literally growing their own textiles. Communities that creatively tackle the most pressing social justice issues of our times. Sustainable business models that imagine how a product can be reborn after its use. Creative workshops that aim to foster a deeper understanding of disenfranchised cultures. Photojournalists that go to the heart of a conflict to document human stories. We've all contributed to the legacy of the new school, and we must continue to do so, especially now. To not just redesign objects, but redesign systems in order to create a more just, a more sustainable, and a more resilient world for all. Although we may be leaving the doors of the new school, we will never leave behind its spirit. our spirit, the spirit of inclusivity, collaboration, and critical thinking, the spirit of creativity. After years of trying to figure out where I belong, where home was, I finally realized that it isn't necessarily what your passport says, where you were born, or even where your bed is. Instead, it is where you're accepted. And I, like many others, found that home here, with all of you, at the new school. Thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. Well, the moment has arrived when we celebrate the graduates through the conferral of degrees. I will ask the university deans to present their candidates. The Doctor of Philosophy is the highest degree conferred at the university. Today we present those students who have obtained this degree. Will Dean Will Milberg please come forward?
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I now have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy at the New School for Social Research. I will ask each candidate by name to rise. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Economics, the candidates are Catherine Moose. Essays on the Theory and Political Economy of Economic Policy. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Politics, the candidates are Peter Galambos, The Method of Utopia, Critical Urbanism and the Ideal City, Julia Patricia Carrillo Lerma, A Colombian Diaspora, From Living and Leaving a Conflict to Engaging in Peacebuilding and the Rewriting of Social Memories of Violence. Harry Howell Williams IV, Refocus on the Family, the Development of a Liberal Family Politics, 1965 to 2015. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Cognitive, Social, and Developmental Psychology, the candidates are Shelley B. Fewer, Gaze Patterns, Durling Video-Mediated Interviews, David H. Howe, The Experience and Expression of Gratitude in Social Class Contexts, Matthew Weiss, Culture, Development, and Perceptions of Access to Mental States. Now for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Clinical Psychology, the candidates are Jordan Bate, Evaluating Effectiveness of Clinical Training in an Attachment-Based Parent-Child Intervention, and Ashley Dukas, No Pain, No Gain, A Psychophysiological Investigation of Pain as a Self-Regulatory Mechanism Among Trauma Survivors. Shayna Grover, Violent and Suicidal Ideation, What Accounts for the Differences. Jessica Joseph, Regulation and Possibilities While Feeding Children in the Margins, Discourses Among Black Cisgender Women Using WIC Services in New York. Hannah Knafo, The Intergenerational Transmission of Body Image, a study of 5 to 7-year-old girls and their mothers. Jacqueline Levy, Relationships for Growth and Learning, Zooming in Unpacking Therapeutic Change of Group Treatment for At-Risk Preschoolers Through an Exploratory and Dynamic Systems Theory Approach. Amy Withers Origlieri, Reflective Functioning in Patient and Therapist, Implications for the Process of Change in Brief Relational Therapy. Kylie Roberts, The Development and Content Validation of the Bereavement Risk Inventory and Screening Questionnaire. Finally, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Sociology, the candidate is Lina Maria Villegas Gutierrez, The Production of a Privileged Space, Boundaries, Aesthetics, and Legitimation of Social Differences in a Colombian City. Mr. President and Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present, may I go forward with the masters? Yes. You sure? I have the honor to present the candidates for master's degrees in the New School for Social Research. Will all of the NSSR master's degree candidates please rise? Mr. President. This esteemed group includes our candidates for Master of Arts, Master of Science, or Master of Philosophy in the following fields: anthropology, creative publishing and critical journalism, economics, global political economy and finance, historical studies, liberal studies, philosophy, politics, psychology, sociology. Please be seated. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dean Milberg. Will Dean Watson please come to the podium?
Mr. President and Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for degrees in the Schools of Public Engagement. I will begin with the graduate degrees. Will the candidates for the Master of Arts degree in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages please rise? Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing please rise? Please be seated. Will the candidates from the School of Media Studies please rise? This amazing group of creative energy includes the candidates with degrees in the Master of Arts in Media Studies and the Master of Science in Media Management. Congratulations. Please be seated. Will the candidates from the Milano School of International Affairs, Management, and Urban Policy please rise? These are candidates for the degrees of the Master of Arts, Master of Science, and Master of Philosophy in International Affairs, Environmental Policy and Sustainability Management, Human Resources Management, Nonprofit Management, Organizational Change Management, Public and Urban Policy Analysis and Management. Congratulations. Please be seated. And now to the undergraduate degree. Will the candidates in the bachelor's program for adults and transfer students please rise? These students are candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science, with degrees in Environmental Studies, Food Studies, Liberal Arts, Global Studies, Media Studies, Musical Theater, and Psychology. Please be seated. Congratulations all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dean Watson. Will Dean Kessler, Dean of the College of Performing Arts, please come forward?
Oh, I don't want to do that. Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for degrees and diplomas for the College of Performing Arts. Will the Mannes School of Music candidates for the degree of Master of Music please rise? These poet-musicians include majors in voice, piano, orchestral instruments, orchestral conducting, guitar, composition, and collaborative piano. Please be seated. I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Fine Arts in the New School of Drama. Will all the master's candidates please rise? This includes our amazing candidates for degrees in acting, directing, and playwriting. Will the Manus candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Music please rise? These gifted graduates include majors in voice, piano, orchestral instruments, orchestral conducting, guitar, composition. Please be seated. Will the Manus candidates for the Professional Studies Diploma please rise? All right. And will Courtney Johnson please be seated? Will the candidates for the Extension Diploma please rise? Please be seated. I have the honor to present the very hard-swinging candidates for bachelor's degree in New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music. Will all of the candidates please rise? This includes our candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts. And I have a very, very special honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts in the New School of Drama. This is the first graduating class in this BFA program. Will all of the inaugural bachelor candidates please rise? Please be seated. I now ask Stephanie Browner, Dean of the Eugene Lang College of Liberal Arts, to join me at the podium. We have the honor to present together the BAFA students who have completed the dual degree of Bachelor of Arts from Lang College and Bachelor of Fine Arts from Jazz.
Will the Lang Jazz BAFA students please rise? Please be seated. Mr. President and Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the amazing, hardworking, talented candidates for degrees in Eugene Lang College, the New School for Liberal Arts. Will all the candidates please rise as I say the names of your programs? For majors in anthropology, contemporary music, culture and media, economics, environmental studies, global studies, history, interdisciplinary science, journalism and design, history, liberal arts, literary studies, philosophy, politics, psychology, screen studies, sociology, the arts, theater, urban studies, and now will all the Lang graduates please rise? Please be seated. I now ask Joel Towers, Executive Dean of Parsons School of Design, to please come forward and join me at the podium. We have the honor to present together the BA, BFA students who have completed the dual degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts from Parsons School of Design and the Bachelor of Arts from Lang College. Will the Lang Parsons Botha students please rise? Please be seated. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, Mr. Provost, I have the honor to present the candidates for degrees in Parsons School of Design. I will begin with Parsons master's degree candidates. Will all the Parsons master's degree candidates please rise and remain standing? This extraordinary group includes our candidates for Master of Architecture, as well as our candidates for Master of Arts in Design Studies, Fashion Studies, History of Decorative Arts and Design, History of Design and Curatorial Studies, and Theories of Urban Practice. It also includes our Masters of Fine Arts in Design and Technology, Fashion Design and Society, Fine Arts, Industrial Design, Interior Design, Interior and Lighting Design, Photography, and Transdisciplinary Design. Also standing are candidates for Master of Science in Data Visualization, Design and Urban Ecologies, and Strategic Design and Management. As well as candidates of the dual degree of Master of Architecture and Master of Fine Arts in Lighting Design. Please be seated. I will now recognize Parsons candidates for bachelor's degrees. Will all of the candidates rise and remain standing for the Bachelor of Business Administration and the Bachelor of Fine Arts and the Bachelor of Science? Mr. President, this rowdy bunch includes candidates for degrees in architectural design, communication design, design and technology, fashion design, fine arts, illustration, integrated design, interior design, photography, product design, strategic design and management, and urban design. Please be seated. Finally, will the candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science please stand? These trailblazers include candidates for the Associate's degree in Fashion Design, Fashion Marketing, Graphic Design, and Interior Design. Congratulations, please be seated. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dean Towers. I now ask Provost Marshall to come forward to present the candidates for the conferral of degrees.
Mr. President, we have presented to you the candidates for degrees in all of the programs of the new school. They've been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees. I now ask that you, by your official act, confer upon them their degrees. Will all the degree candidates please rise once again?
By the authority vested in me, by the Regents of the State of New York, and by the Board of Trustees of the New School, I now confer upon you the degrees as designated by your deans and admit you to all the rights and responsibilities they represent. Congratulations, class of 2017. Well, our ceremony now comes to a close, and the party begins. Please stay for a while to celebrate outdoors with the graduates, faculty members, deans, and friends of our New School Commencement Festival. There are some great food trucks, plenty of photo opportunities, music by some New School alumni, fun activities, from face painting to custom haiku. We'll see you out there. Congratulations, class. Please remain at your places until the platform party has recessed from the stage. You may then exit the stadium and we'll see you outside at the festival, just past the main gate toward the Unisphere, that wonderful artifact from the World's Fair. Make the most of the beautiful afternoon. Thank you, everybody.